till I collapse. I've been moving too fast, got my foot up on the gas, full throttle till I crash. I'm back with a vengeance, you gon' see me end this. I will be ascending, I don't ever slack. I got my eyes on a prize, what I see for my life. I don't float, no I fly, do or die. Cause you gotta do or die, there ain't no compromise. Get ready for a fight.
Do you wanna see what you're made of? What if there was no one to save us? Would you leave it all on the pavement? Would you dive the ground with some straight blood? I just wanna find all my limits. I'ma put everything in it. I'm in this life to win it, and this is just the beginning.
Do you want it bad? Do you want it bad? Do you want it bad? I'll fight till I collapse. I'll fight till I collapse. Till I collapse. My energy is unmatched. I don't get tired, no I don't get gas. I'm back, still working to surpass. Everybody getting past, on my way up fast. No slack. So watch out for me now. Everybody in this town will be looking at my crown. I got my knuckles all wrapped, blood drips from the scabs, bloody fists from the jabs.
Do you wanna see what you're made of? What if there was no one to save us? Would you leave it all on the pavement? Would you dive the ground with some straight blood? I just wanna find all my limits. I'ma put everything in it. I'm in this life to win it, and this is just the beginning.
Do you want it bad? Do you want it bad? Do you want it bad? I'll fight till I collapse. I'll fight till I collapse.
Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monster Mile Dover Motor Speedway. This is round number 21 of the P2RL iRacing series right here on the P2 Network TV. We have an awesome show set up for you today, and before we get to that, let's take a quick look at our weather. The weather today here at the Monster Mile. We have temperature of 73 degrees Fahrenheit, which is with a track temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. This track is made of concrete, so it is going to be very slick out there today. It is going to be cloudy. We got a wind of just about 14 miles per hour with humidity sitting at just about 90%. Let's go ahead and get to our starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting on the pole, last week's winner, Jack Andrews with a 22.761, and to his outside you have Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine. Row number 2 you have William Brown in the number 33 and Charles Keller Jr. in the number 77 machine. Row number 3 you have Larry Fulcher in the number 99 and Dylan Purrington in the 34. Row number 4, you have Clinton Funk in the 88 and Jake Little in the 98. And rounding out your field today will be the number 6 of Trevor McLaughlin in row 5. We have 200 laps here today at Dover. this is a very, very fast mile track. I like to call this track Bristol Motor Speedway on steroids. We have a lot of exciting racing coming your way. The field will get the 1 to go signal this time by. We will have we have pace car is off this time. We are getting ready to go green for round number 21, and we are green. And here they come heading down into turn number 1 for the very first time. It is going to be very important to get these tires warmed up, as this track is a very, very slick track, and we already have heavy battles going on here for the second spot. Jack Andrews currently nice and comfortable right up there in the top spot. As you take a look here and see Charles Keller in that number 77 X-Lac machine. And now they get single file going through turns 3 and 4. Nice and steady here. We've got a very, very long way to go. As you will, and we've got trouble on the back straightaway. Looks like that was Rob Franklin, and the caution is out. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened coming out of turn 2. As you see, he just gets loose out of turn number 2, which is very easy to do here, as I mentioned early on in the pre-race. Ready. All right, let's go ahead and try to get a hold of our in-race reporter. I am having issues getting my radio to click over. Jake Little, this is Mike Taylor up in the booth. Do you got a copy, sir?
Loud and clear, man. How are you?
Doing all right. All right, we just had a really quick run here. How's your car feeling so far?
Feels okay. Definitely has a lot more speed than the one I'm putting out. Tight in the center, loose off. Just trying to find the correct balance. Came in for some adjustments, so hopefully that'll fix her up for me.
Awesome. Yep, this track is very fast, very slick. We just want to figure out, early on here, working a lap number 5, how the car felt in a short run. What do you think you've got for a long run?
I think I definitely have more suitable for a long run basis. Definitely got to watch the wear on the right front. I can very quickly wear out that right front tire and definitely be detrimental for your setup, I guess. And yeah, I mean, we'll see here. Hopefully we get some green flag racing here, and hopefully I'll be in a better position here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jake, for your time. Let's go ahead and let you get back to your thing, and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Jake Little in that beautiful number 98 G. Whoa, and we have somebody flying around hitting the wall. That was Rob Franklin in the DuPont number 4 machine. Very unsure of what happened there. But let's get back to the number 98 of Jake Little momentarily, as his team announced a manufacturer change before this week's event for that team. They have switched from Ford over to Chevy, and now he is sponsored by General Motors, and that is why you see GM on that vehicle this weekend and Little in a different manufacturer car this week. So we wish Little all the best with Chevrolet, and glad to see that beautiful paint scheme out today. Let's go ahead and jump back to the front as we are going to get ready to go green to start lap number 8 of 200. As the pace car is off, and Andrews decided to start on the outside on this restart, and we have trouble in the back. The 88 is around, the 77 is around. Big issues here on the restart, as the 88 of Clinton Funk and the 77 of Charles Keller Jr. both go around. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened on this restart. As you see them coming to take the green, somebody does not go. Yep, the 77 looks like he missed a gear, and when he was finally able to get it, he tried to go, and that just looped him around. Luckily, he didn't hit anything, but that cannot be said for the 88, as he hits the wall head on, and then he gets hit in the side. That is very unfortunate there for Clinton Funk in that number 88 machine, as he's now coming down pit road in that No More Chevrolet to get repairs done. And we also have Jake Little down on pit road as well, and Rob Franklin continuing to get service on his number 4 machine. We just want to take a moment, and we want to thank iRacing so much for having such an amazing service for us to call home here in the sim racing world. Right, we now have 2 to green. Next time by, these drivers will once again choose where they would like to restart. Last time, your race leader chose the outside. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he decides to go ahead and continue to choose that outside lane. And that's that number 20 Red Bull machine. And the field will now come out of turn number 4 as the drivers start to decide on where they will want to restart. And it looks like Jack Andrews will go up high. Larry will choose the inside. Brown will go to the outside. The 34 will choose the inside. Keller will choose the outside. Little chooses inside. The 4 car outside. And Funk chooses the inside. And that's how these drivers will line up for this restart. As the pace car is off, let's see if we can get a better restart this time. And the green flag is out, and Jack Andrews leads the field back down into turn number 1. He got an incredible start as they now come flying through turns 1 and 2. He opened up a very quick 10 car length gap back to Larry Fulcher as we see a battle brewing here for the 5th spot between Charles Keller and Jake Little as they come through turns 3 and 4 nose to tail. I'm sorry, turns 1 and 2. Now they're going to turns 3 and 4. Jake goes up the track just a little bit and loses some ground there to Charles Keller as he is now, as we see Keller going to the outside trying to make that magic work, and he makes it stick as he takes over the 4th spot, and the 77 is not done. Here he comes coming down the front straightaway, trying to keep that momentum going as he looks to the inside of Larry Fulcher in the number 99. 1 by 1. You see it right here. Keller just starting to pick them off. But here comes Little back to his outside, looking to regain that 4th spot as he climbs up the banking in turns 1 and 2 as he does the crossover down into turn number 3. This is, and looks like we have trouble on the back straightaway. Once again, Clint and Funk in the number 88. No more Chevrolet goes around. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to Funk. He just bounces off, and then it looks like there was 2 incidents there in one. Coming out of turn number 2, it was a little bit of chaos, and it ended up just turning Funk into the outside, and he was not able to regain control of that machine. Very unfortunate for Clinton Funk as he brings his machine down pit road to get more service on that machine. We would like to take a moment here under this caution to thank BP Media for all they do for P2RL. And we would like to give a special shout out to JJ. I hope you are doing wonderful out there, JJ. Hope you have a beautiful evening. And that special JJ is very special to BP Media. So we just wanted to give JJ a little quick shout out there, as I know that they are watching. Here we go under caution. Alright, we should get... Looks like the pace lights are off. The pace lights are back on. So we will choose where everybody restarts. It looked like it worked last time for our race leader of Jack Andrews choosing that outside, so I can only imagine that he will go back to the outside. I am very interested to see where the 77 of Charles Keller will line up, as during that last green flag run, he was starting to make some moves as we are getting some interference with our race leader in our radio channel. As they come down the front straightaway to the choose cone, Jack Andrews will choose the outside once again, and Keller will follow to the outside, and once again that will bring Larry Fulcher down to the inside for this restart. Our pace car is now off into the pits, and we are getting ready to go green. It is now once again back in the hands of Jack Andrews, and we are green once again. The 99 does not go on that inside, and it stacks up the inside lane, and that quickly gives P2 over to Charles Keller in that number 77 machine, as Jack Andrew once again gets a incredible restart. As we fall back here and take a look at that number 99 of Larry Fulcher, that dropped him all the way back to the 6th spot on that restart for him missing a gear, as things are starting to brew up in front of him for that 4th spot between Dylan Purrington in the number 34 machine and Jake Little in the number 98. As you see them, and it looks like we have a race brewing here now for our race leaders. Charles Keller wants the spot from Jack Andrew, and he looks to the outside and out of turn number 4, lead change. Charles Keller will go to the point. This is gonna be interesting. You can burn up your tires really quick here at Dover on this concrete surface, so he's got to be very, very careful not to burn up his equipment. And so this might be beneficial for the rest of the field if he just goes ahead and burns out to just about a second lead now over the rest of the field. Let's come back here to the number 98 machine of Jake Little, as they are battling it out for that 5th spot, and it looks like he will currently take it over as they get single file coming through turns 1 and 2. They are just settling down. They still got a very, very long way to go, as they are only working lap 28 of 200 laps here at Dover. So they need to really just settle down, take a breather, as you see Little go to the inside of William Brown. And Dylan Purrington is going to try to make his way to the inside as well, as he backs off, and Larry Fulcher says, "No, you're not going to make the pass, I am," as he marches his way around for that 5th spot. Things have settled down here at Dover, which is a really good thing. This will give these drivers a little bit of time to think, and now it's going to be about race strategy, their pit cycles, and when are they going to want to come down for 4 fresh Goodyear tires. As we keep watching Jake Little now making his way up to the 3rd spot, again in that beautiful GM Chevrolet sponsored number 98 machine. He is tracking Jack Andrews down in that number 20 Red Bull Chevrolet. Right now they are just chilling out. Nobody's really trying to make any moves. And Charles Keller, he is just pulling away from the rest of the field, currently sitting at a 3-second gap as he's entering turn number 1 and 2. The rest of the field is just now going by the start-finish line. So far, he is putting on a clinic on the rest of this field, but he does not want to run up and use up his equipment so quick, because once the tires wear out here, your lap times will diminish quickly. So he's definitely want to keep an eye on that. As we come back here and take a look at the number 33 of William Brown, he's got a lot of pressure being put on by Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine. He was trying to make a move the last lap, but Brown got a better exit out of turn 2 last lap. So that's just going to settle Franklin back down right behind him. Dover is one of my favorite tracks. It's only a mile long, but man, is it fast. As you see the Ford now making his move on the inside. And he gets around William Brown for that number 4 spot. And now they're just going to settle down here and once again just relax. Pick them off one by one. I think that is the plan for Rob Franklin and that number 4 machine. As we've got Jake Little and Rob Franklin right here heading down into turn number 1. They are still duking it out. Rob Franklin, he is slowly making progress through this field as you see Jake Little go way outside, and that opens the door for Rob Franklin. And Franklin will take over that 3rd spot. The last 6-7 laps, Franklin has really put on a show as he's continuing to put down some really quick lap times compared to the rest of the field. So he is starting to make progress as he now has his eyes set on Jack Andrews in that number 20 Red Bull machine. There was a 4-second gap between race leader of Charles Keller and Jack Andrews in that 2nd spot, but slowly it is now starting to dwindle down. It is now down to 2.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd. And as I mentioned before, I think it is very possible the 77 used up his equipment too early, and now Jack Andrews and the rest of the field is slowly gaining on your race leader. But somebody that has been saving his equipment is that number 4 of Rob Franklin, continuing to put down fast lap times compared to everybody else. As he goes high up in turns 1 and 2. And he gets a good run here on the back straightaway. He's looking for that inside lane now, heading down into turn number 3. Rob Franklin goes up to that 2nd spot. And now he has his eyes set on Charles Keller in that number 77 machine. That is your big difference in saving tires and not saving tires here at the Munster Mile. And Franklin showing the field how it's done to save your tires and continue to march your way through the field on this long green flag run. Now, again, the question is going to be, when do you want those 4 fresh Goodyear tires? The field now pretty much spread out, and I am currently watching the gap hang out right about 2.4 to 2.5 seconds between your race leader of Charles Keller and the number 4 of Rob Franklin, that gap has definitely dwindled down as we take a look here at your race leader in that X-Lax Depends Chevrolet. This paint scheme kind of reminds me of the Yoo-Hoo car that the number 10 drove in the Xfinity series a long time ago. Now it's making me want a Yoo-Hoo. And things. Franklin has now brought it. He's just inching his way closer and closer every lap. It's now down to 2.3 seconds. As we have a battle starting to brew here for the 5th spot. Larry Fulcher in that number 99 iRacing Chevrolet. He has now closed the gap onto the 33 of William Brown. In that Mobile X machine. As they work their way through turns 3 and 4. It is going to be very interesting to try to get these cars mowed down onto pit road when they are ready to come for more ethanol. We continue to watch our gap for your race leader dwindle down. It is now down to 1.5 seconds. As it looks like things now have settled down a little bit. As your race leaders are coming up on a lap car of 88 of Clinton Funk as he gets high going through turns 3 and 4. And Charles Keller, your race leader in that number 77, will be the first one to prounce on Clinton Funk as he goes down to the apron and he just lets the race leaders go and do their thing. The gap is still sitting right around 1.5 as we get a decent battle going on back here for the 4th spot between Jake Little, William Brown, and Larry Fulcher. This is brewing to become a very good race as the 33 slips a little bit there in 3 and 4, and that allows Fulcher to get right to the back bumper of Brown as he's going to try to make his way around Brown on the back straightaway. This track very much is a single lane racetrack as you see Fulcher now getting around Brown, heading down the back straightaway as they pass the lap down car of Clinton Funk. Slowly but surely, Rob Franklin is reeling Charles Keller in the number 77 in. And this just shows who was saving tires and who was not. Last lap, Rob Franklin was 0.3 faster than your race leader. And this time by still just about 0.3 faster for Rob Franklin as he continues to get right on the back bumper. Now Rob Franklin looking to hit that attack button on his steering wheel and try to make his way around Charles Keller and take over the top spot. Rob Franklin has been putting on a show this green flag run, showing them how to save tires as they come out of turn number 4. Difference 0.2 seconds is the gap as he makes a look to the inside. New race leader of Rob Franklin gets around the 77 of Charles Keller, going through turns 3 and 4. And now it's Rob Franklin's turn to start to pull away from the field. Now, we're going to fall back here to the number 33 of William Brown as he goes to the inside of Jake Little, going through turns 3 and 4, and he'll take over that 5th spot coming out of turn number 4 to the straightaway. 24 seconds is all it takes to get around this 1 mile racetrack on these used tires. And it is absolutely amazing to see as time goes on. They're now running just about a second and a half of what they were running at the start of this race. As we come back here and take a look at the number 20 of Jack Andrews in that Red Bull machine, just chilling out right now in that number 3 spot. We do have a caution out. Let's come back, take a look, and it looks like it is going to be the 88 of Clinton Funk once again. He just loses it out of turn number 2 and hits the wall head on, and he will bring his machine. Oh, he will actually stay out on track. This was awesome. This is what we wanted to see. Rob Franklin definitely wanted to see this because he knows that he knows how to save his tires. As you see the field come down pit road to get 4 fresh Goodyear tires on these machines. As you see your race leaders all coming down to get those very wanted tires. And Jake Little had to reset, and it looks like Little had an issue. It looks like coming down pit road. He did the 98 machine hit the entrance to the pit wall, and that gave him damage on the on the right front tire, and it looked like he was just coming down pit road a little too hot and slid right into the sand barrels at the end of pit road as he continues to sit on pit road to get service done on that machine. As we come back out here on track, it looks like on that pit stop, it looks like Jack Andrews was able to come out one position ahead of Charles Keller in that number 77 machine. As the field will now do the choose rule. And looks like most of the field chose the outside there for this restart. And Charles Keller will bring up his machine down to the inside of row 1 here for the restart. And the 33 of William Brown will also choose the inside. Everybody else will choose the outside. And the pace car will pull off. And your race leader of Rob Franklin will bring them to the green flag. The 77 did not get a good restart, and he will fall back to just about that third spot as he's fighting Larry Folger in that number 99 machine as they get single file here down onto the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Now, they learned a lot about these cars in this very first run. They do not want to use up their equipment, and Charles Keller in that number 77 machine learned that real quick. He is fast, but he used up his equipment way too early in that first run. So hopefully things will now settle down for him as he learns to manage his tires on this green flag run. The top 4 just kind of hanging out, just about 1 second of each other. Come out of turn number 2 down this straightaway. We are starting to see 2 different lines form as you see the 77 go up high through turns 3 and 4 And then he goes back down to just about the middle of the track to the inside through 1 and 2. As we have, it looks like Charles Keller does like that middle to high lane through 3 and 4, and through 1 and 2 he prefers the inside lane. Things once again have settled down here at the Munster Mile. While we are just chugging along here, clicking off laps, we would like to take a moment and thank Barney the flagman for everything he does above that flag stand. He was hired back in 2008, and he has waved the green flag and checkered flag ever since then. Every single race, no matter what race, no matter the discipline, you can always trust Barney on top of that flag stand. He never misses a call up there. So we would like to send a special thank you to him, and thank you to iRacing for hiring such an amazing guy. The difference between Rob Franklin and Jack Andrews is currently just about 1 second or so. They're really not gaining and they're not losing on each other. So it seems like both of these drivers are settling it into a long green flag run once again. And Charles Keller has kind of settled himself as well in that 3rd spot. He's not pushing hard like he was that first run. So again, I think he learned from that first run not to push so hard, and he will want to save his equipment for later on in the run. Currently our closest battle right now is the number 99 of Larry Fulcher and the 33 of William Brown. William Brown did lose a little bit of time out of turn 2 that last time. Caution is out. Caution is out for Larry Fulcher in that number 99 machine. Let's come back and take a look. See what happened to Fulcher out of turn number 2. He just loses it out of the corner, and unfortunately once you lose it out of these corners, the only place you are going to go is down because of the banking here at Dover. Whatever goes up to the top of the track will always get washed down to the inside as you see the field come back down pit road. Going to take advantage of this pit stop, and they're going to get some more fresh Goodyear tires. As you see the race leaders coming down into their pit stall, they are looking for their tires. And everybody is getting 4 fresh Goodyears. And Rob Franklin will lead them down on pit exit. Things once again. Sorry about that. I was listening to race control in my ear. Everything seems to be going fine so far up with race control. We are now sitting at, well, we will get the one to go this time by, and these drivers will choose where they would like to restart. As the drivers are now choosing once again. Your race leader, Rob Franklin, will choose the outside along with the 20. And then Charles Keller will choose the inside once again for this restart. The 33 will join Keller on the inside, and everybody else chooses the outside once again. And Rob Franklin will bring the field to the green flag once again. The last restart, Keller did not get going. Let's see if he can get a better restart as they come out of turn number 4 looking for the green flag once again. And the green flag waves. Keller gets a much better start here as he will stay side by side and fall back behind Jack Andrews in that number 20 machine as they come through out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. Keller bouncing off the wall a little bit there that time out of the exit of turn 2. As they just run single file. Last little run we had, Rob Franklin was slowly pulling away from the rest of the field up to just about 1 second gap. It's going to be interesting to see if that is what happens again, or will Jack Andrews put a little bit more pressure on Rob Franklin for this run. Things are just chilling out currently for everybody in this field. Rob Franklin pulling out to a half-second lead. on Jack Andrews and Charles Keller, but Keller is starting to put a lot of pressure on Andrews for that number 2 spot. Like we have a battle brewing. That was a lockdown car there. Oh, we have trouble once again. The 88 of Clinton Funk loses it on the back straightaway. And that no more Chevrolet. Clinton Funk having a lot of issues today here at Dover. Hopefully he can change his luck around next week as we head to Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we take on the Brickyard at one of America's oldest racetracks. That is going to be a crown jewel event for these drivers. As you see these, some of these drivers come down pit road, and it looks like everybody will come down pit road except your race leader of Rob Franklin. That is a very interesting call from the number 4 team as they elected to keep Rob out. They have just about 6 or 7 laps on these tires. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see if that was the right call or not. But I don't think that was the right call, staying out when everybody else came in. One more time. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to come back and take a look at the beautiful paint scheme of Larry Fulcher in that number 99 machine. He is rocking that iRacing paint scheme. Larry, he is the senior creative and graphics manager for iRacing, and most of the paints that you see on these race cars today were all painted up and done by Larry himself. So we want to thank Larry for all of his hard work making these race cars look absolutely amazing out on track. Keep up the good work. We are proud of you, Larry. Thank you for everything you do. As we get the choose rule going here once again. So Rob Franklin, he will choose the outside once again with Jack Andrews starting behind him. To 33 of William Brown will start on the inside for the first time today. Up there on the front row for this restart. The 77 will follow him down on the inside, along with Clinton Funk in that number 88. And everybody else in the 34 and the 99, they will choose the outside here as well. As the pace car is now off, and we are green, and that was a really good start there for Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine as they get single file heading down into turn number 1. But here comes Charles Keller looking to put pressure on the number 33 of William Brown coming down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Charles Keller getting that decent run through 3 and 4 by running that middle to lowish line as he looks to the outside now of William Brown. But William Brown, he is not giving up that position just yet, as he doesn't want to give up that 3rd spot as they exit turn number 4, and they are still side by side on the front straightaway. This track really putting on a show now as we have 2 lines starting to form, primarily thanks to Charles in that number 77 trying to get that groove working in the middle lane to make it a 2-groove track instead of just a single lane track. And we have a caution once again for the 88 of Clinton Funk out of turn number 4. And it looks like this time he is stuck on the inside of the track. We will have to get our safety crew out there, possibly to go get him. All right, as he pulls away from the front straightaway. We are once again under caution here at Dover for the 88 of Clinton Funk. And everybody's coming back down pit road once again. Except for the 4 and 77 respectively. Rob Franklin still saying my tires are still good, and the 77 is saying, well, we just got tires just a lap ago, we don't need them again. But everybody else decides that they want to go ahead and come on down for another 4 fresh Goodyears. They'll probably throw those tires on a little bit later, as they only have just a lap or 2 on those tires. And time is still just ticking away here at Dover with 94 laps remaining this time by. So we have reached our halfway point. we will choose where we want to restart. If I had to take a wild prediction here, I imagine everybody's going to go to the outside except possibly the 33 and maybe the 77. That's my prediction. And just watch, somebody's going to prove me wrong. They're like, haha, psych. That will be probably my luck. As the field comes marching through 3 and 4. Nice and steady. So we have, so this time it's going to be the 20 on the inside instead of the outside this time. And the 33 will join him. And everybody else will be on the outside. We are going to get ready to go green. It is now back in the hands of the 4, and the green flag waves. Charles Keller gets into the wall on that restart, and that's going to bottleneck everybody up on the front straightaway a little bit. As once again, Rob Franklin and Jack Andrews start to pull away from the rest of the field. And that's partly thanks to 77 of Charles Keller getting a little bit loose on that start. As we take a look here, as Jack Andrews is putting a lot of pressure on Rob Franklin as they head into turns number 3 and 4. And Andrews gets to the inside on the front straightaway, but gets back behind him entering turn number 1. Andrews has got to make sure he puts in his Red Bull into that gas tank in order to make that thing fly once again. Because every time he has a decent run out of the corner, Rob Franklin gets just that little much better exit. As you see them once again running side by side, and Franklin still holding tight on the outside. And Andrews will complete the pass this time out of turn number 4. Andrews back on top of this race. It took him a little bit to get there, but he is back with 88 laps remaining in this event. How much tires did these two drivers just use battling it out for the race lead? Remember, Rob Franklin, he has just about 10 to 12 laps on his tires. And go ahead and take a look. And so as you guys take a look here, since your last pit stop, Andrew's last pit was on lap 106, where Franklin came down lap 97. So they have just about a 10-lap difference between their tires. As you see, that makes a huge difference as your race leader of Jack Andrews slowly pulls away. As you see Rob Franklin just getting into the outside wall a little bit there on the exit of turn 2 last time by. With 84 laps to go, things once again are settled down here. And Rob Franklin is probably just waiting and abiding his time like he did that first long green flag run. And we have Charles Keller in that number 77 machine just chilling out behind them, saving his equipment. This is a total different driver than what we saw in the first half of this race in that number 77 machine. As the first part of this race, he was go, go, go fast. But now we're seeing a little bit more of a conservative Charles Keller in that number 77 machine, as he quickly learned that saving tires here is very, very important. And he's running just about the same lap times as our race leaders. As we take a look here at our laps led here for today. So far, the number 4 of Franklin leads with the most laps of, looks like that's 48 laps. And then Keller led 40 laps today, and Andrews now leads 31 laps as he starts ticking away at the most laps led here today. These top 3 drivers have been your dominant drivers for the day. And as this race continues to progress, we will see if these 3 drivers can keep it up and get 1, 2, 3 here. Rob Franklin doing a really good job at keeping Jack Andrews within that 0.4 second gap. He's not letting Andrews get away, as their last laps are less than a tenth of each other. So they're doing pretty nice and steady here, as they're not letting each other get out of each other's sights as they come down into turn number 3 once again. That is how fast things happen here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I could be talking about something happening on turn number 2 as they head into 3, and next thing you know, as I say turn 2, they're coming back out of turn 2. I'm sorry, we're here at Dover. This is Bristol on steroids. That's what this track is. It's Bristol on steroids. That's just how absolutely quick things happen here at Dover. As you see Rob Franklin getting a little bit closer there to the rear end of Jack Andrews as they come down into turns 1 and 2 once again. These 2 drivers just letting time run down with just about 73 laps to go. That gap is now from 0.4 seconds down to 0.25. Now the question is Rob Franklin using up his tires, reeling in your race leader just a little bit every single lap? Or is Jack Andrews just trying to save a little extra tires, and that's why the 4 is a little bit quicker than the race leader? Both of these drivers are doing a phenomenal job at managing their equipment for this long green flag run. If my calculations are correct, we should have at least one more pit stop, and that is going to be a big factor into determining the winner of this race. It's going to be who can get on pit road the quickest, but the cleanest, as we did have issues under caution with one driver hitting the sand barrels. So that's going to be a really huge difference. The gap now 0.1 between your race leaders. Jack Andrews is your current leader, but Rob Franklin, he doesn't want Jack Andrews out front anymore, as he looks to the inside as they enter turn number 3. And here they come through turns 3 and 4. The 4 of Rob Franklin will take over that top spot, as Jack Andrews gets right back behind Franklin entering turn number 1. And he loses a little bit of time there through 1 and 2. Now the question is Jack Andrews still just saving tires, or did he use up his equipment a little quicker than he anticipated? Remember, Rob Franklin has the oldest tires here by 10 laps. So seeing him be able to take over the race lead with 68 laps remaining, it is interesting to see what this strategy is for the 20 of Jack Andrews in that Red Bull machine. Both of these drivers have been extremely dominant so far this season, with multiple wins between the two drivers. Andrews is not letting Rob Franklin get too far out in front. And this is exactly what they what Andrews wants, is not to let him get too far out in front here. Between both of these drivers here, Rob Franklin and Jack Andrews, they have a combination of 13 wins, with Rob Franklin having 7 of those wins and Jack having 6. But on top of the current point standings is Charlie Hunter, and that is going to change today, as Charlie Hunter was unable to make it out here to Dover. And Rob Franklin is now slowly pulling away from Jack Andrews, as we have 60 laps remaining this time by. Things have really settled down here. These drivers are now spread out, And this looks like we could possibly have a run all the way to the finish. And we do, like I said, we still have at least one more pit stop left here at the Munster Mile. Last time by Jack Andrews was 0.02 of a second quicker than your race leader. And they ran just about the same lap time this lap as well. As you see Jack Andrews getting into the wall a little bit there, coming out of turn number 2. I think that's possibly the third time I've seen him hit the wall on this green flag run. I think he's really starting to push to try to catch back up to Rob Franklin. But he's got to be careful, because as he gets damage on that machine, that's just going to slow his machine that much more around this track. And he doesn't want to be bouncing off the wall as you flatten that right side of that race car. It's going to totally change the dynamic of these cars in the corners, and the more damage you have, the slower you're actually going to be here with these race cars. Let's come back here and take a look at the 77 and 33 as we have a battle here for third. The 33 of William Brown wants it, but Charles Keller in the 77, he wants to keep it. Charles Keller, who was very strong early on in this race, is now fighting here for the third position. As the 33 gets back on the inside, actually turn 4, and hard contact with the outside wall for Charles Keller, as he begins to pancake that side of his race car. That was a very massive hit for the 77. That is absolutely going to slow the 77 down. And he possibly has probably a little bit of wheel damage with that contact. As we head back here to the race lead, Rob Franklin continuing to march this field around. The gap just about 0.7 to 0.8 seconds in between the two, as they continue to battle it out. Franklin slowly pulls away through the corners, but Andrews seems to have a better run out of the corners, so he just recloses that current gap that Franklin makes in the corner. So this is kind of interesting to see. One driver better in the corners, but one is better coming out of the corners and along with the straight. As time sits just about 0.7 separates your race leaders. Just want to give a very quick update on the 77 as we watch this battle. The 77, he does have some real wheel damage from that massive hit, and he did lose another spot to Larry Fulcher in the number 99 machine. So he's slowly starting to make his way back up through the field after that little bit of an incident that he had early on in this race. As we see these drivers now come out of turn number 4 across the start finish line once again. As we take a look here at the number 20 of Jack Andrews in that Red Bull Chevrolet. The time now sits between 0.6 to 0.7 between your race leaders here with 48 laps to go. Time is starting to tick by a lot quicker as these two competitors are running just about the same lap time. The question is, at the end of the race, as we ride on board with a second place of Jack Andrews, this just gives you a good idea of how fast this 1 mile racetrack is. This is gotta be the world's fastest 1 mile racetrack, as they complete 1 mile in just about 24 seconds on these used tires. The interval now between the two has gone back up to 0.8 seconds. Jack Andrews is just a little bit slower these past few laps. So the question is he still trying to save a little bit of tires, or did Rob Franklin once again save enough tires to start making, or to keep Andrews behind him for the remainder of this race? Everything here is all spread out. Your race leaders have a 7-second gap to the third place of William Brown in that number 33 machine. Brown sitting very comfortably in that third spot, as you see him here entering turn number 3 in that Mobile X machine. He's put on a pretty decent run here today at Dover. Had a couple issues early on, but very consistent and running right about that third spot, as he's got just about a second and a half to Larry Fulcher in that number 99 machine. The laps are winding down here at Dover as we continue to watch Jack Andrews slowly lose the race lead. The race leader of Rob Franklin. One more pit stop, I believe, still needs to happen. So it's going to be very interesting to see on what these drivers decide. 39 laps to go this time for Rob Franklin. We have just about 20 minutes remaining in this race, and anything can still happen for these drivers. Are they going to be pushing their tires to the limit? Is somebody going to blow a tire and have to come down to get new tires on their machines? As we see the interval between the two drivers still sit just about 0.7 to 0.8 seconds. Andrews is now making that steady position once again, not letting Franklin pull away. They are reaching the lap car of Dylan Purrington in that number 34 machine. Is he going to cause issues for our race leaders, or will he just pull out of the way? And it looks like he will pull out of the way up into the wall. And that closes the gap by 0.2 that time. Laps continue to click away. 34 laps remaining. As we see consistency out of Rob Franklin, most of his lap times are just about the same, sitting at right around the 24.2 mark, whereas Jack Andrews, his average is right about the 24.3 mark. So there is a little bit of a difference between the two in their averages. So Andrews has got to pick up the pace as they put the 77 of Charles Keller a lap down in that number 5 spot, and Andrews got stuck behind the 77 a little bit there on the back straightaway, and that cost him a lot of time as he now is 1 second back behind Jack Andrews. I'm sorry, back behind Rob Franklin. That is not what Jack Andrews wanted out of these lap down cars. And a very early dominant fight up front for Charles Keller. That's a disappointing as he makes his way down onto pit road. And it looks like we are going to start to have our green flag pit stops begin, most likely. As Charles Keller is the first driver to come down to get 4 fresh Goodyear tires on that machine. .30 laps remaining here, and the separation between the race leader Rob Franklin and the 20 of Jack Andrews is hovering at 1.1 seconds. 10 lap difference on the tires between your race leaders, and it is showing Rob Franklin so far is the most dominant with the older of the 2 tires. Like 20 lap difference. I just got word from our pit reporter down on pit road. It is a 20 lap difference, not a 10 lap difference. And that is even more surprising right there, as Rob Franklin continues to be very dominant here in the late stages of this race. Rob Franklin not letting older tires dictate the outcome of this race, as he has been able to manage those tires absolutely phenomenally here at Dover as they come up on the lap car once again of Charles Keller in that number 77 machine. Still sitting at just about 1 second difference between the 2 race leaders as they continue to march their way around the Munster Mile as they come out of turn number 4 once again. 25 laps remaining. Jack Andrews is going to have to dig down deep to pull something out of his magic hat if he wants to go back to back. Jack Andrews has gone back-to-back wins before with a 6-race stretch, I believe it was, of back-to-back wins. And it looks like as you see the field come through turn number 4. We currently only have 3 cars on the lead lap, and that is your race leader, Rob Franklin, Jack Andrews in the number 20, and the 33 of William Brown, who sits just about six seconds back behind your race leader. The gap now between Rob Franklin and Jack Andrews is now 2.3 seconds and gaining. It looks like Andrews is now struggling in that number 20 machine. And with him struggling, William Brown in the 33 is starting to gain on him, as you see the 20 here going down to get 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Jack Andrews drove that car to the limit, and he did get a blown tire, so that's why he is down on pit road. He has no choice but to come down and get that tire repaired, as we continue to watch Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine now put the distance between him and second place of William Brown up to that 5 to almost 6 seconds. Just under 18 laps to go this time. The question now will be, will Rob Franklin have enough to get to the finish, or will he have to come down pit road? Or will William Brown in that number 33 machine be able to sneak out a win because he saved his tires enough not to blow his right front tire here at Dover? It is going to be very interesting to see the ending to this race. So everybody don't go anywhere here on P2TV, as you see Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine continue to lead this event. But William Brown in that number 33, he is slowly reeling in your race leader. He went from 7 seconds down to just under 6 seconds the last 2 laps. As you see Larry Folger in that number 99 machine fight to get his lap back. And here comes the 20 of Jack Andrews, passing him as well to get one of his laps back here. "13 laps to go when they come back to the start-finish line." About 5.6 seconds back to William Brown. Does Brown have enough to catch him here in the closing laps? Or will Jack Andrews have enough manpower? Oh, looks like Jack Andrews, he did go 2 laps down, so now he is just sitting 1 lap down. So I think that takes Jack Andrews out of the equation for this race. So now it's going to boil down between Rob Franklin and William Brown. This is going to be interesting as we have just 11 laps left. 11 more miles for Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine. Is he going to bide his time and allow William Brown to catch him a little bit here so he can make sure he can make it to the end on these tires? The fact that we had a tire go down on Jack Andrews well before Rob Franklin is very surprising, as Franklin has a lot older tires than almost the entire field. So Franklin has been managing his tires ever so beautifully this last run of this race, as he let Dylan Purrington in that 34 machine go by. The gap is now down to 5.4 seconds. William Brown slowly reeling him in, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 8 miles remaining now for Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine. This is a very, very unfortunate turn of events for Jack Andrews in that number 20 machine. Somebody who's been very dominant all race. And Rob Franklin being more dominant on his fuel tire saving, as you can continue to watch Rob Franklin lead. Franklin has led the most laps of 112 laps so far. There is 6 more laps remaining in this event. As long as he stays out front, he will lead the most laps with 118 laps, as he continues to nice and easily march his way through this, around this 1 mile track. 5 laps remaining, ladies and gentlemen. The gap between the two race leaders is 5.7 seconds. Back to the 33 of William Brown. I don't think he is going to have enough. William Brown is going to need to count on a tire blown from Rob Franklin to win this race, as Franklin comes through turns 1 and 2 onto the back straightaway. Nice and easy. Rob Franklin marches around this track. 3 laps remaining here at Dover Motor Speedway. Just about 1 more minute these tires need to last for your race leader. Barney will give the popsicle sticks to our race leader this time by. 2 to go for your race leader, Rob Franklin. Rob Franklin now closing in on the lap down car of Larry Fulcher in that beautifully painted iRacing paint scheme. White flag is in the air for your race leader, Rob Franklin. 1 more mile. That's all he has to do, as William Brown brings down the gap to 5 seconds. It's not going to be enough, as Rob Franklin goes into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Ladies and gentlemen, round number 21 winner Rob Franklin will take the checkered flag here at the Munster Mile of Dover Motor Speedway. William Brown will bring home 2nd place. That was a good recovery race for William Brown. Wow, what a incredible race that these drivers put on for us today. Definitely very nail biting there near the end. Let's go ahead and take a look at our final results as Rob Franklin in that number 4 machine burns it down at the start finish line on the front straightaway. Yeah. The results are getting put up for our viewing. Rob Franklin in the number 4 machine. What an incredible run for him. He will add win number 8 to his name for this season alone. Coming home second is going to be William Brown in that number 33 machine. Jack Andrews, very disappointing finish for him. Luckily, it only dropped him back to the 3rd spot. So that's still a good points day here for Jack Andrews in that number 20 machine. Larry Fulcher in that number 99 machine will come home 4th. And rounding out your top 5 is going to be the 34 of Dylan Purrington. Your early race leader, Charles Keller, finishes in the 6th spot. Clinton Funk, who had a very interesting race, to say the least, is in the 7th spot in his number 88 machine. Jake Little in the number 98 GM Chevrolet, he will finish in the 8th spot. And rounding out your field is going to be the 6th of Trevor McLaughlin out of Canada. And that is your finishing results. We want to thank everybody so much for viewing in today. We want to thank BP Media for everything that they have done for us today. We want to thank iRacing for giving us such a beautiful platform to do our thing on. We absolutely enjoy it. And most of all, we want to thank the league runners of P2RL for everything that they do for us here. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week when we go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I am Mike Taylor signing off with P2 TV. See you guys next week. Same time, same place. Happy time zones.
Till I collapse, I'll be moving too fast. Got my foot up on the gas, full throttle till I crash. I'm back with a vengeance. You gon' see me end this. I will be ascending. I don't ever slack. I got my eyes on a prize. What I see for my life. I don't float, no I fly. Do or die. Cause you gotta do or die. There ain't no compromise. Get ready for a fight.
Do you wanna see what you're made of? What if there was no one to save us? Would you leave it all on the pavement? Would you dive the ground with some straight blood? I just wanna find out my limits. I'ma put everything in it. I'm in this life to win it. And this is just the beginning. Do you want it bad? Do you want it bad? Do you want it bad? I'll fight till I collapse. I'll fight till I collapse. Till I collapse. My energy is unmatched. I don't get tired, no I don't get gas. I'm back, still working to surpass. Everybody getting past, on my way up fast. No slap. So watch out for me now. Everybody in this town will be looking at my crown. I got my knuckles all wrapped. Blood drips from the scabs, bloody fists from the jabs. Do you wanna see what you're made of? What if there was no one to save us? Would you leave it all on the pavement? Would you dye the ground with some stray blood? I just wanna find out my limits. I'ma put everything in it. I'm in this life to win it, and this is just the beginning.